মহাবিদ্রোহী রণক্লান্ত, আমি সেই দিন হব শান্ত, যবে উৎপীড়িতের ক্রন্দন রোল আকাশে বাতাসে ধ্বনিবে না, অত্যাচারীর খর্গ কৃপান ভীম রণভূমে দনিবে না। আমি চির বিদ্রোহী বীর, আমি বিশ্ব ছাড়াই উঠিয়াছি একা চির উন্নতশীল।
Fast typing.
How many bars are that you doing now? How many bars are from here? From your song?
52. Dub music itself is from sound systems like in the late 70s and in the early 80s, when the music that was being played on reggae sound systems at those times was a very of a more roots and culture orientation. You understand? And it was from that whole era of dub music that was coming out of Jamaica. It influenced a lot of kids in England, in this country.
I am risen along with my head held high. I will only rest when the cause of the oppressed no longer reach the sky. When the sound of the sword of the oppressor no longer rings in battle. Hear my war cry. Hey, 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 hear my war cry.
Asiandubfoundation started through initially a workshop situation.
Everything we do is collective. This is crucial to the philosophy of the group.
I'm here to teach you a lesson, I'm here to teach you your soul. Yes, I'm leading inside, let's go right at the control. Gun, I'm playing your gun, so she be praying for forgiveness. See, no the evidence, no longer need a witness. I'm taking my word, man. Here's my sentence, 100,000 years of repentance. 100,000 years of repentance.
With Indian-based music, Asian music, alongside Western pop music, and also all of us have a love of reggae, especially dub reggae. My first 9 years of my life, I lived in a predominantly Asian area. If you grow up in a predominantly Asian neighbourhood, it doesn't mean you don't get influences from all kinds of things.
A radical fusion, strange alliance, the siren and the flute in unison. Cause it's a part of my mission to break down the vision, mental compartment, psychological prisons.
It's like we explore the relationships between different kinds of music. You know, in an ADF song, you know, a couple of our tunes, we'll start off with a dub kind of rhythm, and then it will become a drum and bass rhythm.
Charge recordings. You know what I mean?
Yeah, charge recordings.
This is very highly intellectual, okay? You have to get the drumstick and you have to hit this one time like so. See that? take it down.
Well, for us, dub is like a set of principles. It's just a kind of framework for experimenting. So we're not really trying to reproduce what has become the genre of dub. We're not trying to reproduce or copy the sounds of Lee Perry or King Tubby or anything like that, although that music inspires us and we respect that music, but we're just using whatever technology we've got available to us today just to make experimental music.
To us, that does not mean a reproduction of what dub was like in 1970 or something like that. To us, that is alien to the concept of dub. Dub is not a purist form of music, otherwise it is not dub.
For us, when we started working together, we quite quickly discovered that you could use dub elements in house music that worked really well. It just happened quite naturally. And that was how Push Push came about. You know, it's a kind of dub-style bass line, but with a real techno sound. And then we found that amazing vocal sample of a Scientist record.
He can surely turn the tides. He can push the tempest by. Push, 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 push,
For me, dub is more of a musical context than a cultural one. I think the reduction's important in a textbook sort of way, but the reduction's already happened and that sound is accepted. So you're not listening to it thinking, oh, they've dubbed the vocal out. You know, everyone's got so used to the sound of just the drums and the bass and maybe a little snatch of the vocal with an echo on it and then out again. It's become normal.
Do the first walk. 90 degrees, highlights and blue skies. Each and everybody's on a first walk ride. Drop top Benzes, for the GTIs. You got the flavor, be rockers HiFi. Yeah. Do the first walk, baby. We getting lifted. There's nothing better that I'd like to do than sitting here getting lifted with you. On the first walk, baby. There's the way we want to be
That was a typical dub mix, yeah. That's just a spontaneous thing, you know. It wasn't arranged. Like, as you came in, as you was filming me, that's when I was doing it. It wasn't like rehearsed before you came or anything like that.
One of the elements I think about dub music is that it allows the listener to create their own picture in their mind. When you listen to our music, the vibe that you will get, if anything, is on a meditational point of view. Especially at a sound system, the elements are more than just music or more than just dub. It's a spiritual thing.
Yeah, music is a strong force and can ease the pressures and burdens of society. Yeah, there is definitely a churchical vibe there.
Work, as you can see. This is the most distressing day of the year when we're playing out with the sound.
That's the killer one just warming up the carnival right now. Right now. I'm just warming these jumping vibes. Just there we go.
Get us some nice chicken now. Very cheap, okay?
Yeah, we are some brethren. That's one love, man. You see right there full up, and as soon as we sign on, everyone will just come out from everywhere.
The role of the sound system really is the first place you get to hear most of the music.
Last album we done was just a dub album. Lots of the elements that we actually put in while we was creating the music are not in there. You won't hear them in there. The only place that you will hear them is on Abashantii sound system. He alone has the dubs for all of our tunes. Nobody else has them, so that's the only place you'll ever hear them.
basis of sound system is very, very important because that's launched many a singer's career. DJing, I'm using the microphone, I'm selecting, you know, creating the vibes, you know, telling people about peace and love.
We are not mainstream, we're underground, and underground things have always attracted the disenfranchised elements of society, the unemployed, the people who feel that they have no religion, or they've given up on what their religion they were born with, or they feel they're being forced in a certain way and that they're under pressure. Dub has always been the music of protest, just like you had the protest songs in the 60s, but 70s. But dub was the black protest. Like in the old days, it used to be the old gospels. But now, as a term of defiance, it's dub. We have people that have come into our music or come to our dances from other subcultures. Your drum, your bass, your jungle, your hip-hop, your trip-hop, all those variants. But they've come back to what's essentially the roots, because that is where all those musics are derived from.
It is almost like a system of news broadcasting, you know, and we want to carry on that kind of tradition of commentary, of making commentary. Dub always, to me, was a very militant thing.
The rim square off is on, the rim square off is on.
Educational teacher about here. Watch the ride. All youths, follow me now. With the boom shaka like a crow. See?
You are using the mixing board as an instrument, in a way. When you're mixing dub, it's a hands-on thing, you know? It's like, you can't program a computer to do it. You've got to be a thing that's spontaneous. You know, that's why you can mix so many dubs. I started making music and it started getting a little bit better with learning how to play the instruments and stuff, I kind of felt that I wanted to hear it on vinyl. So I got a dub plate cut, 4 different tunes, and played it to some people in record shops. And they said, take it to Shaka. And went up there, gave him the dub plate, and he's listened to it and said, yeah, I want 4 cuts of each tune. Come to the next dance. This is in September '86. We go up, go in the venue, sit at the back, watch Shaka and his crew just lift the boxes in and set up, and that was quite awesome, seeing that for the first time. So we're standing at the back, backs against the wall, just watching what's going on. Tune comes on, and I thought, I'm never going to breathe again. He was playing tunes that we had on record and stuff, and had got rid of because on record they just sounded fairly flat. You're hearing them on a sound system played at tremendous volumes, and you just get a total understanding of why that tune was made, where you didn't before. It was made for the sound system. At the time, it was 99% black. I think at that first session we went to, there was maybe 3 other white guys. I remember asking Shaka, is there any other white guys that are making tunes for you or whatever? And he didn't know, no one had been to him. Well, I think at the time you probably had alpha&omega.
I was introduced to Shaka probably about 10 years ago when I lived in Bristol. I remember going to a gig he was playing, and the whole place was transformed, and it was like it was a cathedral or something, or a church, or there's such a sort of strong spiritual atmosphere. I was just absolutely astonished. We put out King and Queen, and I remember going to a Shaka dance, and it was a crowded dance, and suddenly he put on a track off of King and Queen, and it was just, the whole dance just erupted. It was just, it was amazing. I was standing there thinking, this is just unbelievable. I can't believe that, that we've made this music, and it's part of this whole thing that I love so much.
I was sort of brought up in Devon. It's a very mysterious place. There's loads of legends and myths and sort of ancient places, and I used to go for a lot of walks. When I listen to a lot of dub and reggae, I can sort of hear that kind of mysteriousness in it. Whereas in dance music, I find it's just purely sort of like entertainment almost, which I still like it as well technically, but it goes a bit deeper, dub. I find it satisfies something in me that I can't get from other music.
Dub dub was a process of mixing reggae. You know, they didn't, in Jamaica in the early days with people like Tubbies and all that, they took a reggae tune with a vocal and then they mixed a dub of it.
Throughout the late 70s, the dub business was never better. Every record made in Jamaica, and there were thousands, tens of thousands of records made, had dub mixes on the other side.
On the A side would be the song, and on the B side they'd take the vocal out and it would be an instrumental version. The versions got more and more adventurous with the introduction of reverbs, delays and distortion, and the introduction of DJs going on a version. And then ultimately, what became known as dubs, the version became a dub, which is derived from the word overdub, where you add something, or dub, where you take something away.
And of course, when you hear that on a sound system that can deliver, say, 40,000 watts of bass power and 30,000 watts of mid and 40,000 watts of high frequency, then you're talking about a listening experience, a very disruptive and powerful listening experience, one that can shake down the walls of Jericho if necessary.
Garnet Sills, I want to see all lighters in the air, all hands in the air. No! Stop it! Yeah, man, you're foundation music, man. Sorry to react one more time.
Dub didn't come about overnight. Dub was the result of a process that grew out of really the competition between different sound systems in Jamaica. In order to stay on top as a sound system, you have to have the most exclusive recordings that no one else can get. On a Friday night at King Tubby's studio in the late 70s, scientists would mix 50 different mixes of the same rhythm for 50 different sound systems. King Tubby would just roll the tape and mix live to the disc cutter, improvised on the spot. And if they made a mistake, then they'd hit the reverb unit and cover it up and call that style. They made mistakes into style. King Tubby's studio itself was located in an area of Kingston, Jamaica that was between two rival political factions. Often you'd get gunmen coming over to shoot up some rival faction, you know, while King Tubby is mixing in the studio.
A lot of people were scared to go into Tubby's, but the sound that Tubby's had, you couldn't resist going there. We didn't care about who would shoot us or what would happen to us.
Just come to mash down road.
We went to King Tubby's and we got what we wanted, the great stone, coming to mash down Rome.
Tragically, King Tubby was murdered in February 1989 outside his home. The motive apparently was robbery. So dub has this capability of offering, if you like, the other side of the coin, you know, giving another viewpoint, but solely by using elements that are there already in the original and shuffling the pack and deconstructing the original and reconstructing a new thing without really adding anything except manipulation and technique. And that's a new thing in the world. That's a new job, you know, and that was King Tubby's contribution. The dub techniques died out in Jamaica, but they were kept alive in England by sound systems like Just Shaka, by engineers like Neil Fraser, otherwise known as madprofessor, and Adrian Sherwood at On You Sound.
Rise up, 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 rise up. All we good soldiers, a revelation time. Come and go stand up in line, rise up.
Very often with a good dub record, you're hearing things that aren't even there. You imagine you're hearing something in there by the clever way it's deconstructed. I started On You Sound in 1980 when I was 21, 22 or something. I'm particularly lucky to have worked with the likes of Skip MacDonald, who's a genius. He can play, his guitar's his main instrument. He can do snap vocal harmonies. He can play keyboards.
Wimbish and myself have played together for 22 years. Keith LeBlanc, kind of 18 years. Adrian Sherwood, we've worked with the last 13 years. And it has to do with the fact that you find somebody that's really capable of doing the job.
We did an acoustic session with Bonjo from African Head Charge, Skip on acoustic guitar, Bim singing at Southern.
A time ago, man was brought from the east. Their skin were black, living tribulation. Find a way to be free. Captivity had a fit to survive. 7 and 5 make 12. Gotta use it.
And it was just so beautiful that I said that we've got to do an acoustic album.
We were looking for something different, and we really didn't know what we was gonna get. but we want something nice.
Solid as a rock, you feel the need in me. Solid as a rock, you feel the need in me. It's not easy finding all the loving quality. It's not easy achieving maximum loving quality. Always be at peace with your soul. You never were alone.
If you listen to it, there are very subtle dubbing techniques, delays and little feedbacks and reverbs happening right in the background, that every time you listen to the album you'll probably hear different noises.
Never was I blue.
So we've got the Shanti I, the orchestra, and use the Indian flavour.
The musicians perform excellent, and you know, they love it. They put their heart and soul in it.
I see no danger in your love, so I'm hopelessly surrendering my love to solid as a rock. You feel the need in me. Solid as a rock, you feel the need in me. Solid as a rock, you feel the need in me. Solid as a rock, you feel the need in me.
I started off buying and selling reggae records, then importing them from Jamaica, and by the time I was like not even 18, I had a reggae label.
Every lunchtime we used to knock off school and go down to this record shop in Bristol called Revolver, and we'd talk about this van from Zion that would arrive with all the pre-release dub plates, and they'd be playing the dub versions in this back room, and we'd be listening and trying to buy them before they went back on the van. 3 years later, I found out that Adrian Sherwood was driving this van.
In the mid-70s, most of the white youth in this country were completely disillusioned by the crap that the record companies were putting out. A lot of the punk kids were into reggae anyway from school times. Then some of them, like the Ruts, were playing like reggae and modern rock music for the kids, right? Who at the time were checking this new, what they call the new wave. It was a very, very exciting time, the late 70s. And at a similar period, I met, the Clash. I toured with the Clash, the Slits. I was fortunate enough to meet. I met the Public Image lads.
There was a kind of arrogance and a nonchalance and a disrespect for kind of technology, the same disrespect that the early Pistols and the early Subway Sect had for the kind of rock monolith, the disrespect that King Tubby had and Lee Perry had and Joe Gibbs had when they were kind of demolishing and deconstructing and just had no respect for the structure of the thing and just cracking it to pieces. A spirit of that came out which really appealed to me, and it was natural for us to try and create a kind of a cross between the kind of funk stuff we love dancing to and the attitude of the punk stuff, right? On the first pop group record, I'd like to get a dub reggae producer to do the thing. This was never heard of, that kind of cross-fertilisation between the genres. So I tracked down Dennis Bovell, and we got him to produce the first pop group thing just because we wanted to use the techniques. We weren't playing reggae, we were playing a kind of post-punk kind of whatever it was the pop group were playing, but we wanted to use those techniques, that kind of deconstruction.
The first dub that I ever heard was done by Jimi Hendrix. And if anybody would care to check Are You Experienced, that album, and the song is called Third Stone from the Sun. If you listen to that, that is the beginning of dub.
Then later we started working with this all-girl punk band called The Slits.
I am trapped in a flat part, but at least it's raining. I have a tendency to get bored too quickly.
I can't remember why The Slits kept shifting style. I'm sure there wasn't a reason, it's just more and more influences. I think the main influence maybe was we got more and more into reggae music.
Recently my life seems to have no meaning. I'm stuck with someone, we're not communicating. So I need some money to borrow. Said I'll surely give it back to you tomorrow. Definitely. Spend on the rent, but don't spend on the things I resent.
You know, Black and White probably mixed for the first time in music. We played the first gig punk and reggae mixed with a band called Steel Pulse in 1977, and you know, we started to cross over and get into dub.
Dub was and is and always will be the work of the engineer. That's where the engineer doesn't have to take any stick from the artist or the producer. Okay, so here we go. Whoom, faders up. You know, and then start cutting left and right like you're going through a jungle that's full of bush and you're chopping down a path to the end of the record. I remember one time I was recording with Edwin Collins in the studio. A belt broke on the recording machine and Edwin was playing a solo. And there's a bit where the guitar goes, right? And I jumped up to the tape recorder and started winding it with my hand just to get him to the end of the song. And it produced that kind of And when we got the belt fixed and listened to it, it sounded incredible. Like, how did you get that sound? I thought, well, that's dub, man. You leave that alone. I mean, there's millions of things you can do when you're at that mixing desk and you've got 10,000 buttons and you want to light up every one of them. It's like you're playing a giant pinball machine and you're going to get millions of replays. And you're going flip, 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 flip. All the lights light up. And sometimes the game's over too. You know what I mean? But you put more in and you go, rah, boom, boom, boom. You go, you hear that, man? And you kill the echo machine till it's like going, please, turn me off. And you go, you think I want to do that? More. Swim through seas of reverb. Everything's exploding, they're in a minefield.
And I was about 7 Why it's up to you, because it's your
It was in April 1981, down in the ghetto of Brixton, that the Babylon them caused such a friction, that it bring about a great insurrection, and it spread all over the nation. It was truly an historical occasion.
A lot of changes have taken place in Great Britain since I began to write my poetry. And for example, black people in this country are no longer as marginalized as we were when my parents came here as an immigrant. We had to fight a lot of struggles, build independent organizations.
But at those stages, in the pop group thing, we quite clearly kind of aligned ourselves to work against racism and to things like Scrap Sus, when they just used to be able to pick up black kids on sight and just kind of search them and hassle them. And we were doing a lot of work with Linton Kwesi Johnson and Race Today in Brixton.
It was event of the year, and I wish I had been there when we run riot all over Brixton, when we mash up plenty police van, when we mash up the wicked one plan, when we mash up the swamp 81. They make the ruler them understand that we not take no more of them oppression. And when me check out the ghetto grapevine, they find out all I could have find. Every rebel just a rebel in them story. Them a talk about the power and the glory. Them a talk about the burning and the looting. Them a talk about the smashing and the grabbing. Them a tell me about the vanquish and the victory. Them said the Babylon them went too far. So what we had was fi bun too car. And 1 and 2 innocent get mar. But what? No so it go sometime in a war in star. No so it go sometime in a war.
We did this massive anti-nuclear weapons thing, and we played to like 55,000 people in the middle of Trafalgar Square and stopped the whole of the city. And that was a really kind of fundamental thing for the kind of resurgence of the left. You know, I also draw on like crazy, it's economics and conspiracies as much as straightforward left-wing politics.
The turning point happened after the riots in 1981 and 1985. Things began to change. A black middle class began to gradually emerge, black professionals and so on and so forth. Some things, on the other hand, haven't changed at all. If anything, they've gotten worse. And I'm thinking specifically about the relationship of black people to the police.
In Public Image, we took the inspiration of reggae music. We all like reggae, but certainly me, John and Keith, we love reggae music. Dub, in one way, is a very specific music, but it's also a kind of a mother music, a source music, because it's an original trance music. The Tibetans regard space as an element, along with fire and water, air and earth. And space connects objects and subjects. It doesn't separate them. There's nothing but energy, and matter is a transitory thing. And dub in that way suggests this space, and by suggesting space, you suggest, Shanyeti suggests the Buddhist thing of emptiness, if you like.
Part of my role in society and reflecting the role of black people in England. We're on the outside of society. Dub is on the outside of music, My role and the role of dub is to really show people that we are not for the mainstream, That's the burden you bear from you're a black youth in England. From you're a youngster growing up, you know that you're on the outside looking in.
This song is dedicated to all the children all over the world who are suffering from neglect, hard times and starvation.
A lot of the modern day dub has no relation to any song, even boring songs. Boring songs make good dubs. Good songs make good dubs. Any song make good dub. But a dub with no song is like a boring dub.
This song is dedicated to the children all over the world, suffering from neglect, hard times, starvation. Dry your tears.
Yeah, you're getting into all the effects, it's taking you somewhere. Then out of nowhere, the vocal comes in to remind you, this could be a song. Then it disappears, you know? And it's like a thief in the night, it's just in and out. Some of it is predictable, you know what's coming, but it doesn't say it. It's up to you to say it. And you know, it really opens the mind to like some imagination and to broaden your picture. There's an invisible bird sitting there called the firebird. He's a firebird sitting on my head all the time. Terrible firebird. You know the story about the firebird? Soul fire. Where's your soul? Under here, underneath your foot. That makes you want to dance. If you have no soul, then you don't want to dance. Well, without the fire, you are dead because there's no heat here. If the heart is functioning right, then everything you do is right. Right?
Right no more.
first thing I have to philosophy is that dub should always be surprising. The minute it gets predictable, then it's wrong.
Enough.